feed the children of our race. I need you to feed the lover of our race. I need you because you are the natural life of the living. At night there is a moon to make the blackness be felt. I am that blackness, filling up the world with my soul, and the world knows me. You are that moon, my moon goddess, peacefully smiling down light on my black face that fills the universe. My moon, I am your sun, and I shall take this piece of light and build the world for you, my sister. Sometimes the waters are rough, and the hungry tide swallows the shore, washing away all memories of children's footsteps playing in the sand. Where is the world I promised my son? Must he push back the tide and build the world I've talked about? Am I so godly until I forget what a man is? Am I so ripe until there is no room for patience? My brother, 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 father of a son, my brother, father of a warrior, my brother the son, my brother the warrior. Be the beginning and the end for my sister. Be the revolution for our world. Turn yourself into yourself and then on to this disordered world and arrange the laughter for joy and the tears for sorrow. Turn purple pants, alligator shoes, leather jackets, brown boots, polka dot ties, suits, turn miniskirts, false eyelashes, blonde wigs, afro wigs, Easter wigs, bell bottoms. Turn this confusion into unity. In the day, so that the moon will glow in our living rooms at night, so that food, clothing, and shelter will be free, because we're born free to have the whole world as our playground. My people, my people, we need unity, we need unity, we need unity, we need unity. Hey y'all, we need unity, 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 we need unity.
Listen now. This next poem is dedicated to James Ntume. Matter of fact, he was the inspiration for this poem. We were working on this piece called, for the Panther film called, don't you give me, broccoli and tell me, well, don't you give me no greens and tell me it's broccoli. What is it?
Don't you give me no broccoli and tell me it's greens.
So, and
how many of y'all heard that on the Panther soundtrack?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because I did get a royalty check. I mean, somebody bought that shit. Yeah. Lord have mercy. Everybody here eats broccoli. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh. Are there collard greens people in the house? Hello. How you do? Assalamu alaikum. Ooh, you can do that. SOBs, let me tell you something before Umar gets it together, because he's going to read this. I told my kids at one of the schools in Brooklyn on Delphi Street, PS 20, I told them, I said, yeah, I'm doing a performance at SOBs. They said, I said, what is so funny? SOB, don't you get it? SOB. I said, no, that's 50, at least 60 years old. SOB, son of a bitch. That's like played out. I said, no, sounds of Brazil, man. I said, damn, these kids have all that old shit, and they swear they are brand new. SOB. Come on.
All right.
This is real.
And this poem, I don't like usually reading stuff, but I haven't memorized this poem actually. I got so many other poems in my head. I have to take a burst, so I'm just going to read this too. But it's on our new album, The Time Has Come, and it's dedicated to James Ntume, Silence of the Jams.
You gotta listen to this, y'all.
In some lush green moment of treetop dancing, young men with their visions impaired, souls lathered down in stone, blunt instruments softly caress their minds, being assaulted by the violent foreplay and the casual sex of the American flag blowing in the breeze. Even the death in their faces Even the depth in their faces, even the depth in their faces does not seem to belong to them. It seems borrowed on loan, consigned to them by too many blood and crip fantasies, dripping in dead tributes dedicated to the eagerness of self-destruction. Little girls losing their innocence to the magic kingdom and sleeping with the devil on park benches while kissing disfigured smiles, limping on one leg, and lesbian parades moving forward with subtle and very efficient precision. I saw you, a cocaine growl, trying to stand still while dancing in the wind, trying to give yourself to love while playing the slave master's game of turning our truth into serpents and demons that try to justify and rationalize this state of being alone. And all of this sensitivity sometimes kills us in good fuckings, in good and soft touches, in dark and mysterious eyes telling us they know how it feels while leaving us in the morning to contemplate their big pretty asses and I don't care attitudes walking out the door. Harlem dying of her own hands at stop signs and crack houses, promising the children free rides to Coney Island while kente cloth voices on radios beg and plead for handouts from bloated poets, lying in the filth and perversion of the hope that TV commercials would pretend that we still have imagination and creativity sold to the highest corporate bidder. Past rejections and animal urges wrapped around triggers, pulling down our mothers, pulling down our sisters, pulling down our daughters deserve more than bullets in the head and the misery of calling our names in desperation. The depth of love, trying to hold on one more time, in the drugs, in the rage, in the bitterness of tears screaming down your lies. I want to win. I want to laugh. I want to write poetry that is soft and slow, for hatred and beauty, for women and existence, for men and acceptance. They think we don't know. They think we don't know. They think we have nothing left, brothers. They are throwing dirt on our graves. Everywhere I go, everywhere I've been, we were there first in the language, in the mathematics, in the science, in the arts and trials of tribulations. I will meet you at the bridge with Huey, with Marvin, with Malcolm, and we will sing in the music, in the joy, in the belief that the revolution must not be televised.
Yes, that's on the new CD. And the thing about it that makes that piece...
Thank you, James and Tume.
Yes, Silence of the Jams. Let's give Brother Tume a hand for... You know, he's got quite a few things that we steal. You know, poets, you gotta understand that poets get from the people, y'all. We just get credit because somebody said, that's a poet. Say something poetic.
Now,
so you start thinking, now what was the last poetic thing I heard? Oh, yes, the confusement part. That's your problem. You're hanging out in the confusement part. Watch out for that scary go-round and stop riding on that unferris wheel. All brought to you by James M. Tume. Give him a big hand, please.
On the album, on Silence of the Jams, we have none other but Pharoah Sanders playing on this piece.
Yes.
We have Ayi Dayin, the master Sinhalese conga percussionist also. And Pharoah does a little something on this tune, on the album. He takes a Heineken bottle and fills it up with half water and plays the bottle. You gotta hear this sound. Pharaoh's deep, but like this no time has come on the album.
He plays the bottles. Revolution, a revolution, gotta have a revolution right now, a revolution, don't need a revolution, still a revolution, remember when the revolution comes? Revolution. We're gonna go there.
Revolution comes.
A lot of people misunderstand revolution, they think that we're talking about getting some guns and shooting Giuliani. I don't want Giuliani's blood on my hands. I don't want to have nobody's blood on my hands. That's not what this revolution is about. I want us to get ourselves together, those of us who are righteous, so tough, until we can Jedi mind trick folks into killing themselves. That's the move. And if anybody's got the power of Jedi mind, we got it. All we got to do is clear the cobwebs out from our third eye. Once that third eye starts beaming, you're fucked up. I'm telling you. revolution, gotta have a revolution right now. A revolution. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. Boy, a lot of people hate this poem. Revolution. Because we have so many different.
That's why you do it, because you know a lot of people hate it.
I love it. I love
That's
it.
why he does it, because you know a lot of people hate it.
That's right. But when they hate it, they love it. Same damn thing. If they didn't like it, they would be indifferent to it.
When the revolution comes, revolution.
When the revolution comes,
Revolution.
someone's probably catch it on TV with chicken hanging from our mouths. You'll know it's revolution because there won't be no commercials. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, preacher pimps are gonna split the scene with the communion wine stuck in their back pockets. Faggots won't be so funny then.
Revolution.
That's what they hate.
Revolution. Revolution.
Oh yeah.
Revolution.
And all the junkies will quit their nodding and wake up when the revolution comes.
When the revolution
Junkies hate that
comes.
too. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. Transit cops will be crushed by the trains after losing their guns and blood runs the streets of Harlem, drowning anything without substance when the revolution comes. 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 When the revolution comes.
Revolution.
Revolution is solid. Revolution is. I hope pearly white teeth fall the mouths that speak of revolution without reference. The course of revolution is 360 degrees. Understand the cycle that never ends. Understand the beginning to be the end, and nothing in between but space and time that I make that you make to relate or not to relate to this world outside. My mind, your mind, speak not of revolutions until you are willing to eat rats to survive when the revolution comes. 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 Black cultural centers will be forts supplying the revolutionists with food and arms. White death will fall off the walls of museums and churches, breaking the lie that enslaved our mothers. When the revolution comes. When the revolution comes. The old white Jesus Christ is going to be standing on the corner of Malcolm X Boulevard and 125th Street trying to catch the first gypsy cab out of Harlem. When the revolution comes. Afros trying to straighten their heads. And straight heads be trying to wear afros. When the revolution comes, men are look like men, and women are going like women again. When the revolution comes, when the revolution comes, yeah, when. But until then,
Y'all know.
you know.
Y'all know. We know y'all know.
I know, you know. And even late Biggie Smalls knows because he sampled this shit himself.
Oh, yeah.
Niggas will party and bullshit and 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 party. And some might have, will, and you know will continue to die before the revolution comes.
All right. This next poem is dedicated to all the young black men out there in the streets trying to find the rites of passage through the streets of what the streets bring.
Streets are calling, bum rush, rush, bum rush. Streets are calling, bum rush, rush.
The streets are calling, the streets are calling, there's always the street. From shoeshine boys to big time to trick or treat. Trapped in the silence of primal screams, abandoned buildings and part-time dreams. The early signs become the later rage, the latest death at an early age. Young, bold and unafraid, #1 tunes on the hit parade. Daddy came and then was gone, made a move that left upon boys in the hood, hoods on the head, living large to die instead. They test the waters and dash the flames. They hear the whispers but never their names. Looking over shoulders, trying to look ahead, overlooking paranoia to hear what's said. The only enemy becomes the only friend. The only way out becomes the only way in. Indecent exposure to legendary fame, playing with stacked debts while destroying the game. The divine becomes tempting and then cocaine. Addiction becomes subtle and then profane. Wearing the streets like they wear the crown, wearing their dreams like they wear a frown. I can't quit, this is all I've got. There's plenty of drama, but where is the plot? Hey girlie,
needs to be kind. If you take the cue, I'll take the chance. If you be for real, I'll be romance. Young boys